Greetings, I'm Mr. Grimreaper 512, and welcome to another edition of Rip from the Silverscreen. I am here again with Dark Knight 97, and we're going to give you another film, we're going to give you another review. This time for the 1983, I believe. Wait, hold on. 1981. Sorry, for the 1981 cult classic, The Evil Dead. Now, the reason why I brought Dark Knight 97 on this is because he's kind of sort of an expert for the Evil Dead films, and he knows this, and he knows these films from front to back. So I'm gonna let him give you a little history of the 1981 of what he thinks. I'm gonna let him give his take on his feelings of the 1981 cult classic and stuff like that. So you have the floor, Bo. Go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. So Evil Dead. Now, this is a movie that I absolutely just got to love. Okay, I have been a mega fan of Evil Dead since I was first shown it. Now, I remember when I first watched it, my older brother showed it to me, the first film. And at first I thought it was a little scary, a little crazy for instance, the way it was going on. But my brother showed me, hey, they're not that scary. I mean, there are scary stuff, I admit it, but it's supposed to be a little more funnier. And I learned that as I grew up. I learned that as I watched the movie. I'm like, you know what, he's right. These are actually not as scary as I thought when I was. So, and if anything, so that's how I got to know Bruce Campbell, or Ash, and people, out there. That's how I got to know all about him. And that's how he became one of my favorite actors in the history, Evil Dead, and any other movies he's been in, of course. So, and they were funny, and I learned that these movies were great, and I even seen the second one. We're going to talk about that. So, and then, of course, Army of Darkness followed. So that was a series that I loved, and I became a fan of, and then, of course, they did do a remake, which we'll discuss. But
yeah, we'll talk about that later on down the road.
Yeah, we will. So, this first film, though, like I said, for me in the beginning, it was scary, but it ended up being actually not as bad, and it was, it was a good film. I personally, like I said, just love the series, and then Evil Dead 2 followed, and then Army of Darkness, and the more when those two came out, it was the more comedy in there than it was really scary.
Yeah.
But in a way, that's how you think about scary movies. Is sometimes they may be freaky, but then again, sometimes you never know. It could be more action, it could be more funny, it could be more that. Just think about the good things instead of the scary things. And so that's how I come to know about that. Evil Dead really showed me that. And so if you guys have not seen these original films, I suggest you do, because if you, like horror comedy, this is the best right here. Is the Evil Dead series, the first original. A little bit more scary but then if you get the part 2 and then the Armageddon, those are more of the funny stuff rather than the scary stuff. But so if you're looking for a little horror comedy, Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead series is what I recommend. And
yeah,
like I said, I became a good fan of Bruce Campbell because of these films. So guys, if you really want to get some horror/comedy, these are the movies for you.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the plot and and give our points of what give our points and give our takes on how we felt about the Evil Dead film. Now, of course, you know the whole story of Evil Dead. 5 Michigan State University students: Ash, his girlfriend Linda, Ash's sister Cheryl, their friend Scott, his girlfriend Shelly. They all venture out to this cabin and stuff like that. And then, like everything else, someone has to be that dumbass. Take out something that's ancient, read from it, and then be a dumbass. And then all hell breaks loose, which is what happens in this movie. So basically, they're trying to I guess they go there like for like a vacation or something like that. The remake is the remake is a different story, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that, yes.
So they read from this book. They read from this book called the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, and my buddy knows about this book because he's seen this movie. Explain the Necronomicon.
Yes.
Go ahead, man.
It's also known as the Book of the Dead. Now, what these people don't know is that it can actually summon a force that no one knows how to, a force that turns basically people into what we like to call deadites. That's basically their possessed, if you will. So basically what they do is they find that book and they don't know what to make of it, but then they find a recording from a guy that stayed at that same cabin years ago.
Yeah.
But the mistake was, while listening to that recording, it ends up chanting this thing, and what happens after that, these words are said, this demonic entity apparently comes and here we go. It says here, archaeologists' voice recepts a series of incantations resurrecting a mysterious demonic entity. So that entity goes after each of the friends, turning them into deadites.
Yeah.
Ash and Linda are like the last of that to survive. So other than that, so Ash has to fight and kill his own friends who have turned, and so basically Ash has to survive in this first film. After it, and Ash tries to escape. So the bridge that they drove in on is now destroyed.
Yeah.
So now Ash has nowhere to go, and he's stuck battling this demonic entity that's coming after him.
Yeah.
That possessed his friend that he had to kill.
Yeah.
As to say, it's just a nice survival for Ash in this film. And like I said, this film is, to me, at the beginning was a little scary, but I know that now it wasn't so bad. So anyway, Ash has to survive the night from this entity that has come to try to, possess him as well.
Yeah. And what people don't know is that Ash is kind of sort of not himself in this one. Like I see in the very beginning of the very first Evil Dead, Ash doesn't become his lovable moronic self until like in 2 and 3, I think. But Ash, they kind of, I don't know if it would be to say that they made him scared. You can see the fear on his face and stuff like that. What do you think about hit? Okay, how do you feel about the way Ash has turned now than what he was from the what changed with Ash from the very first movie to the series to the Ash vs. Evil Dead?
Let's see. Ash, as you may know or may have not known, Ash has been through a lot of horror with that book, and he has not wanted nothing to do with it ever since his horrific past with his first love that was taken from him.
Yeah, which I believe was Linda, right?
Linda, yeah. And so,
you still there, man?
no, yeah, give me a minute, guys.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so
sorry guys, I'm texting here. As I was saying, so Ash has been through a lot of horror with that book, and so throughout the years he's been trying to destroy that book, trying to get the book out of his life because he knows what it's capable of. I think in the part 1, part 2, well, he's still dealing in the cabin, he's still having to, deal with it, and we'll talk more about that plot just a little bit. But anyway, and then part 3. Well, he goes back into medieval times, with castles, knights, horses, what have you, wizards, and they have to fight these deadites. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
And then in the series, years later, Ash has moved on with his life, in the series, but he thinks, the evil mind, he doesn't worry about. That's what he thought.
Yeah.
And the evil watched it.
Yeah, about a few weeks ago, about a few months ago, I did my review for season 3 for Ash vs. Evil Dead. So, but during this part for Rip from the Silverscreen, we will talk about season 1 and season 2 for Ash vs. Evil Dead. But what I see, this is I think the culmination between how Ash was in the very first movie, to how he is now, was this situation that they got it themselves into. Some idiot decided, find a book. I'm gonna find a book and all that and read from the goddamn book and stuff like that. And then they found that tape recorder. Of course, you know that tape recorder. Spoilers, by the way. You could hear that that same tape recording that you heard was at the end credits of the remake film. That came out like decades after. You know what I mean? So, but I felt like the Deadites, for what Sam Raimi had to go through in order to make this movie, they had to go through a lot of shit. This is what you call guerrilla filmmaking, because you have basically a bunch of shaky cam. I don't know how much they had. I don't know how much that they had to make this film. So it was $90,000. It was $90,000. So this movie was kind of cheap in a way. But the stuff with the girl and the tree, that scared the piss out of me.
Oh yeah,
the raping tree shit that was in this movie. And you know, just everything in this movie was like just I don't know how to put it. Sorry guys, my mind's not all there right now today. I apologize. But anyway, the way they shot the film, it looked like guerrilla filmmaking. You know what I mean? So and what I had found out was that they had the part of the tree rape scene. They had how they did that was they were pulling the I guess guys had like they had like string or something like that, and they were just like pulling on it or whatever, I don't know, to make the tree do whatever it was that they were trying to do.
Right.
And then they were doing it in reverse. And then what you saw in the movie is that it was kind of like on fast forward. You know what I mean? But they were doing it in reverse to make that, which I thought was amazing. By the way, I that effect. I thought that how they put that effect together was really, really good. There was a couple of aspects in the film too where when Shelly becomes possessed, Scott has to kill her. Scott is forced. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to because that's his girlfriend and stuff like that. And so he has to just butcher that, and he butchered the hell out of her, dude. In this. Let's see what else. So Okay, so Ash goes to check on his girlfriend, on Linda. He is horrified to find that she is already begun to turn. Okay, so she starts turning into a deadite. And let's see. Okay, Scott. I think afterwards, Scott gets attacked by the trees and stuff like that. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so Ash has to decapitate his Linda, if I remember correctly. There was a lot of hard stuff to watch in this movie. The tree rape scene, that was hard. There was a couple of other stuff here. Let me see.
Exactly.
I think Cheryl gets killed in this. Let's see. Okay, so they're gruesomely decomposed and their blood. Okay, so Scott and Cheryl died in the movie.
Yep.
And Ash starts hearing his voice telling him to join us or whatever.
Yep. That.
So he starts. What I like is the ending of the movie. You know, when the camera starts going back and forth. You know that little how I gotta put. You've seen it in the other Evil Dead movies too, where what I found out is that they had a camera in their hand. Sam Raimi and his crew had a camera in their hand and just ran. You know what I mean? That's how that scene was made and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But that's all really I could remember from the film. He knows a whole lot of this film, and he remembers a lot of it. What exactly would you give it, man? Like if you were what out of 10, what would you give it?
Well, for me, since I love this original Evil Dead series, I would give it. I mean, I really, like I said, the movie did give me the scares the first time, but the second time I watched it wasn't as bad. And I really enjoyed these films. So to me, I would give it maybe. Well, I'll give it. I'm gonna. I mean, they were good. I'm not gonna say that they're bad. I'm gonna say that they're really good. And the best thing about it, I would give it maybe 9 out of 10. I would say maybe.
Well, I am inclined to agree with you, but this is what I think. There was some parts. I get that Sam Raimi had a lot to work with this film. He had that's saying a lot, and this film still holds up as a classic. And you're probably asking, Graham, what did you give it? Well, I gave it a 10 out of 10 because I think this film still holds up after decades, after a few decades, especially the legacy that it left. The first Evil Dead, the legacy that it left. We got a chance to see Ash go back in time. We had a chance to see Ash go through hell. We got a chance to see Ash find his daughter in the series, which I wish they could have freaking made more series out of this, and I'm not happy about the fact that they canceled it after 3 goddamn seasons.
We'll talk about that as well.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But I felt like Evil Dead, the first Evil Dead, was horrific, was horrifying. The way the shots in the movie were very, very genius from Sam Raimi. And I felt like that even though there was problems in the film, there was kind of sort of plot holes in this film. I still thought that the film did very, very good. I still thought that the film was very, very imaginative by Sam Raimi and his crew. Bruce Campbell, with what he worked with in this film, did an amazing job, and everything else. And as far as everything else goes, I think everybody on the cast did what was asked of them to do in this. And I heard too that there was, those kind of sort of like mishaps on the set. Those a little bit of mishaps on the set. People did get stabbed a little bit.
A little for real. Sometimes people get carried away. Sometimes they don't know what they're doing, and as you know, that's all it is. Acting, effects, they use. Like my partner said, the trees they were doing in reverse. But in the movie, you see fast forward, it's like it's going the right way. But the way they do things behind the scenes, if you watch behind the scenes featurettes on these movies, you'll learn how things work. They'll show you how they want to make a zombie walk, or like in Army of Darkness. You remember the Army of the Dead with skeletons and stuff. They had to use these kind of things to make it look like skeletons were walking toward the castle. So they use all these kinds of effects, which I think is amazing. So like I said, 10 out of 10 is also good. I agree with that rating, 10 out of 10. I mean, like I said, I said maybe 9 out of 10, but I have to read 10 out of 10 because this is a classic. This is something that, you can learn how scary movies are not so scary because all the effects they use, all the makeup they use, but then it can get a little carried away. Sometimes people do actually get really injured, but so that's basically what it is.
Yeah, because this movie was very, very horrific. This movie was very horrifying for its time, and I give it 10 out of 10 because of the legacy it left. For decades. This film, Evil Dead, began in 1981 from Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi, this is his baby, dude. Sam Raimi is an imaginative director. Even though people disagree about the Spider-Man, his versions of the Spider-Man movies, I don't. Whatever. I think all three Spider-Man movies were really good. But,
I was a fan of those two.
Yeah, agree to disagree. But anyway, I felt though that this movie, the way they put everything together, was very, very, very genius by Sam Raimi. And even though he didn't have that much money. Even though he didn't have that much money to make this damn movie, and all that, and he went from what I read about how the movie was made, is that they had to go from different they had to go to different studios to try to get this damn thing made. And nobody wanted to touch this film. Nobody wanted to touch it. It's kind of sort of the situation with the next movie we're going to talk about. How Wes Craven had to deal with that situation. We're going to talk about that one next. But I still feel that Sam Raimi did what he needed to do. Him and his crew went through hell making this film. And I commend Sam Raimi. And he is not just known as the master of horror, to just as a nickname.
Right.
The dude makes horror very, very, very good. So if y'all guys so I highly recommend seeing the legacy, seeing this whole entire legacy, the films that he created, and also the 3 seasons of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Because this even though there was problems, I still feel that he left a legacy. Sam Raimi left a huge legacy in film with the Evil Dead. Do you agree with that statement, dude?
I would agree with that. Sam Raimi this was one of his best works he's ever done. So guys, like I said, I recommend it's originally Evil Dead series. We talked about the first one, of course. Now, many fans thinking, well, didn't he have a chainsaw for one of his hands a little bit? Yeah, that does not happen until part 2, when, a little spoiler by the way, when his hand becomes possessed and he has no choice but to lop it off. And that's how he makes a contraption to put it on. That's how he becomes the Ash with the chainsaw or a hand. Yeah. So that's in part 2. And then in part 3, he goes back to medieval.
Well, don't go too far. Don't go too far, dude. Don't go too far.
I'm just going to say right there. I'll stop right there. But anyway, not to go too far, but we recommend the series. You guys check it out for yourselves. And you be the judge. This is our opinion. We love Sam Raimi's work, but not going too far, but we recommend it.
Yeah, so tomorrow we'll talk about Evil Dead 2. The second film in this series. Also tomorrow too, we're gonna also talk about Ash. We're gonna talk about Army of Darkness as well in the Evil Dead series. So we will talk about those two later down the road. We will also give you guys our thoughts. For Rip from the Silverscreen, we're gonna also give you guys our thoughts on the first season and the second season, since I already done season 3 already for Ash vs. Evil Dead. We're gonna talk about the first and second season for Ash vs. Evil Dead. We got a lot of stuff to talk about and stuff like that. So if you guys like, comment, subscribe, let us know what y'all guys think and all that. That's it for this episode of Rip from the Silverscreen. I am Mr. Grimreaper 512, and I'll see you all in the afterlife.